Hello and welcome to another episode of Jaxon Talks Everybody with me, your host, Jaxon Stone. This is episode, hold your breath, 99. Okay, you can breathe now. But really, no, it's amazing. Episode 99. Holy cow. I'm amazed that we're here at episode 99. We have a guest, a returning guest today. Hi, Joel.
Hey.
I've seen you.
Anyways, there's Joel in the background getting some M&Ms. But anyways, yeah, episode 99, amazing, fantastic. Alex returns to Jaxon Talks Everybody. She was actually on episode number 13 of Jaxon Talks Everybody. Wow, that's a long time ago.
So long.
So we're basically gonna catch up, get some life updates, talk about a few things, and I'm excited for the episode. So thanks for being here.
Me too. Thanks. I actually prepared this because on that episode I was very nervous, and I don't know why. Because at that moment, so I'm sitting there getting ready. I'm like, okay, you're not gonna be nervous. You're just gonna talk. It's Jaxon. Like, y'all been friends forever. Yeah, so it's better this time.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You feel less nerves?
Yeah, like I can just talk freely. I don't know. Maybe it's the growing up I've done.
Oh,
Calm down. Not that.
nice. We can talk about that, but the first question I'm going to ask you, very important.
Boy.
Very important question. 99 episodes in, it's basically the theme of this podcast. So Alex, my friend, it's good to see you. Happy you came over. How are you doing? Like, really, how are you doing?
Really, I'm doing, honestly, better than I have in years.
In years?
In years. I've overcome many obstacles in the last year and so, and I don't know, this is actually the point of like where I'm seriously, truly happy. And it's been great. Like, I don't feel any stress on me right now. It's gonna come. But right now, I don't feel any stress on me. I am just living my life to the best possible way that I can. And it's been really great.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So you said you're happy.
Yes.
That's an interesting thing.
It is.
Happiness. Because it's a fleeting emotion.
Yeah, it comes and goes.
It comes and goes. But have you figured out what it means to you and why you have become more happy more often?
Because I figured out I wasn't living my life to my full potential. I would just, instead of going with the flow of my depression, I would literally just stay home and not do anything, not talk to anybody. But now I've learned to not really put it on the back burner, but I've learned to live with it and still enjoy the things that I like to do with it.
That's a very important distinction, right? Because I think for a lot of people that I talk to and work with, when some sort of mental health condition comes into their life, whether it be the two most ones that people know, anxiety and depression, we'll just go with those for now. They start to identify with those things. Like when we talk about them, it's I am depression, I am anxious, instead of sometimes I experience anxious thoughts or moments. Sometimes I experience times where I'm a little depressed or down, and that's just a part of me.
Right.
It's very similar to like, someone who's an athlete or someone who's a bodybuilder or in fitness, like they solely identify with that. That's their whole being.
Right.
And that's detrimental, right? Because you're foreclosing yourself on a lot of these different aspects of yourself that are real, true, and beautiful, and also some hard aspects, right? You're not just depressed. What if you're overwhelmed? What if you're all these other things that you could potentially be? What if you're happy?
Right.
And so that's a really cool thing that you've done. Sometimes I experience depression.
It's been really nice, especially with having a significant other that I can really talk to, and he may not understand it to the full effect, but he's still there and still listening, and so he'll kind of help me come up with ways that I can overcome what I'm feeling at that moment. And me being the hard-headed person that I am, I may not always listen, but then I'll come back and I'll be like, you know what? You were right. So I appreciate that you were there to help. And so it's just been great.
Yeah, to have a sounding board, a support system, you know, someone to bounce ideas off of, someone who's going to listen non-judgmentally.
Yeah.
Is wildly important.
Yeah.
So, I had a thought. What was it? Where'd it go?
I don't know.
Just left me.
Go back to your thinking spot.
Let me see if I can write it out. No, great, amazing. I really had something. Oh, there it is. Got it.
It's back.
Got it. I was gonna say, you know, it sounds like, because a lot of things, when we're feeling some type of way, maybe it's bad, maybe it's depressed, maybe it's sad, maybe we're grieving, whatever, right? We feel like, or our brain or mind tricks us into thinking that we're gonna feel like this forever.
Yes.
Forever. Like this feeling will never ever go away.
Exactly.
And our brain makes us think that, and our mind does, and it feels real, it feels true. That's why, one, it's important to write it down and put a date on it, because then 3 days from now, if you don't feel that way, you can look back and be like, oh, it won't last, you know, whatever, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't that way forever. I got out of it. I overcame it. I did that.
Right.
Pat yourself on the back, celebrate that. But also in that moment when we're feeling like this thing might last forever, which alludes to what you were saying and doing, is that feelings follow behavior, not the other way around.
Right.
If I do a behavior, something, I might feel good. But if I can force myself to do something in the moment when I know I don't want to, but it will make me eventually feel good,
right,
is the best thing to do, and the hardest, right? Because your depression is saying, I want to be alone, but I need people.
Right.
I want to be alone, but I need people. I don't feel like getting out of bed, but I need to move my body.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's like this huge tug of war you're playing with yourself. And so you just have to kind of, I know it sounds very hard, and it is, especially when you're feeling like
so hard.
Absolute shit.
Yeah.
But if you can find one thing to just force yourself to do, and then it may eventually start to ripple into you feeling a little bit better, and then there's a domino effect, boom, 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 boom. So feelings do follow behaviors. Is that something that you believe to be true, or what have you done with that?
I do. And then also, like, my body has now, I guess, gotten to the point where it yells at me when it knows that I need to do something. Like, if I feel like today's not the day that I'm going to get out of bed, today is literally the day that I'm just going to sit here in my depressed moment and just chill, my body will be like, no, I don't think so, man. You're going to get up. It gives me a headache. My body starts aching, and it's like, you need to start moving. And I do, and then I'm like, oh, what was I going to lay in bed all day? Like, waste my day for what? To be, like, sit there and get more into my head? Because my head is a very dangerous place for me, as it is for probably most people.
A lot of people.
My head, and it goes back to last year, there was a point where I was back to square one. Like, the darkest that I have ever been. I never acted on it this time, but it got to the point where I was like, I need to do something with my life. Like, I need to get up. I need to, start working out again. I didn't go to the gym for a while because I was just in my little bubble up there.
Yeah. Yeah, and fitness in the gym has become like a really important part of your life, obviously.
It has.
The last time you were on this podcast, we were talking about you preparing for your first bodybuilding show.
That was 2 years ago.
Which you crushed.
I did.
How many have you done now?
Only 2.
You've done 2? What's fitness like for you now? What's working out like for you now? How is it intertwined in your life?
So, I do still work out. It hasn't been as consistent as I would like it to be, just because I've had so much stress that I just want to, get to my home and I'll like start cleaning my room or something. But this year I'm taking off. So we are just looking to grow more muscle, get my nutrition back, because when I hit off season, I tend to go into a eating frenzy of everything looks good. So I'm going to eat everything.
Right.
So I got back in control of that. And then I will compete probably next spring. hopefully.
Next spring.
Yep.
Like March, April?
Roughly around April is when they first start.
All right. Yeah.
But it's going to be hard because I have to prep during Thanksgiving and Christmas. I really love Thanksgiving food.
The bodybuilding sport is so interesting to me. And like, for one, like, I love fitness. Love working out. Talk about it a lot on this podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, I probably work out 3 times a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, but I've never wanted to get on stage. You know, I did wrestling for a while.
Yeah.
That's weird to say, like, everyone knows that I did wrestling. But, and so I, like, exercise, moving your body, honoring your body, whatever you feel like doing that's best for you, do it. As many days in a row as you possibly can, whatever it is.
Yeah.
You know? For you, fitness had a huge impact on your life.
It did.
But going into the bodybuilding space is also very mentally and emotionally challenging.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Yeah. Because to a degree, just like anything that you're trying to do that's elite or really hard, which is what bodybuilding is, you have to become obsessive and very restrictive on your life. With your workouts, what you eat, what you do, everything. And so that's why dieting and those types of eating patterns for bodybuilders can become very dangerous if you don't already have a handle on it.
Yeah.
If you already have some sort of thing about eating, then doing that to the extreme could be dangerous in a way. And so I think that needs to be talked about a little more when people are getting into the bodybuilding industry.
Yeah.
Because you have to do these things to look this way. There's no other way around it. You have to. Like, it's the only way your body is going to look that shredded on stage doing that. But you have to restrict your eating window and the way you eat and how you eat and when you wake up and how you work out and who you talk to, what drains your energy. All of these things play a part. And then when the show is over and you've gotten on stage and you're done, what do we do now? Because we put on such a restrictive eating habit that we just tend to open up the floodgates again.
Yeah, so when you get closer, I mean, even when you're in early stages of prep, you have to plan your day and your meals so they go together. Because if you're waking up at like 4 a.m. and you had your first meal, well, you're done eating probably around, 4 p.m.
Yeah.
Then what?
Right.
You're hungry.
Very hungry.
You're gonna, you are starving at that point. So that part is always challenging, especially when everyone says that you can still live your life in bodybuilding, like when you're in prep for a show. And it's true, you can. But there are times where you're gonna miss events.
Yeah.
You're not gonna feel like going out one night with your friends because you're so tired. You've already eaten your last meal. For my birthday, my first show, we went out to the 7th. I sat there and ate pickles.
Yep.
I woke up the next morning so swollen from all the sodium, but I had already eaten my last meal before we went out.
Right.
I was so hungry and hurt so bad the next morning. It was rough. So it does play a big part in the diet part of it. It's definitely, you have to have a lot of confidence in your coach. You definitely have to have a lot of research in your coach if they know what they're doing, because you can mess up your metabolism really bad.
A lot of trust.
Yep. You can mess up a lot of your organs really bad just from, a lot of competitors go after their show and will just let loose. They now have a really bad eating disorder because they want to eat everything in sight.
Right.
And it comes down to, after they gradually increase your foods, they gradually increase your carbs. But if you're already started at like 1,700 calories and now you're already shooting up to 2,500 calories just because you're eating all of this bad stuff, it hurts bad.
Yeah.
I've done that the first show.
It's really tough.
It is.
And to relate it to like an everyday person who wants to just live and be the most healthy they can possibly be, that's why I like to avoid using the word diet or getting on a diet, because it means it's not a lifestyle change or a behavior change, right? If I'm attempting to alter the things that I eat, I can't all of a sudden go from eating pizza and donuts, fast food, all this crap, to now I'm only eating salads. If you eat meat, vegetables, grain, all this good food. That's a huge turn. And then in a week, you're gonna be like, I'm bored. This food sucks. It doesn't taste good. And then you're gonna revert back to the things that you were doing.
Yeah.
It's about making one small change like every 2 to 3 weeks that you know you're gonna stick to. Okay, so now I'm just gonna make this decision. I'm gonna eat less refined sugar.
Yeah.
Cool. Now that's become a thing. Now every time I go out, I don't get dessert. Every time I go to the movies, I don't get a candy bar. Every time I go to the airport, I don't get a candy bar. I get something else instead. Ooh, that's become a habit. Okay, next. Whatever it is, right? It's one small thing that you're tackling at a time. So it's not a diet.
Right.
You're just making lifestyle behavior changes towards the way that you want to live.
Yeah.
But we see with bodybuilding, a lot of Olympians, high-level athletes, like everything is to the degree, the 100th degree. It's like exaggerated, all in, obsessive behavior, because that's what you have to kind of do to reach that level of anything.
Yeah.
And then there's this huge dopamine crash when the thing is over and the athlete feels like shit, basically.
Yeah.
You know, because they climbed this mountain, they got to the peak, and then the drop off was very hard. And so that's why there is a lot of mental health conditions, depression, things like that in sort of these high level competitors.
Yeah.
We're working on that now, trying to build this optimal level of athlete while also maintaining their high level of mental wellness. But that's what I think about when you were doing bodybuilding and eating the way you were eating, and thinking about your previous history with mental health and things of that nature, and eating disorders and stuff like that. And it's really quite hard, but it also was really beneficial for you at the same time, because it gave you something to work towards and strive towards and be. And so it's hard to say whether it was, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, it's hard to say if it was really good or really bad. I think there was both aspects to it for you.
It definitely was. You know, I think I talked about it on the first episode, but
2 years ago.
I think. But I started bodybuilding because I needed to have a stronger goal to help me become healthier in my life.
Yeah.
So why I ever thought, you know, I'm going to get up on a stage in a very, very small bikini, and that's going to get me to my healthiest goal possible. It was crazy, but I did it. And now... Twice, yeah. Now I got confidence going into the gym. You're talking to someone who was terrified to even step into the threshold of the gym.
That's why we started at Planet Fitness, the absolute best gym.
Yeah.
Absolute best gym to start your fitness journey at.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Literally no judgment zones.
They don't sponsor this podcast, okay, but I'm telling you that Planet Fitness rocks.
Confidence just in myself. You know, but you know, you did have the downfalls. You have now very bad case of body dysmorphia, especially getting closer to show. You have certain things where you're like, foods are not much of my issue anymore. Like at first it was. I did become the person of like, I can't have pizza. I can't have a burger. My first coach, I wouldn't even put sauce on my food because I was so terrified. It wasn't on my plan. So I'm not going to add sauce.
Well, now you add that.
You can't add sauce.
Now you add that sweet yum yum sauce, though.
Oh yes, that stuff. So good.
Yeah, delicious.
Order more. Oh yeah, my beautiful scar. Ta-da. So it did come down to that, to where the hard part was, you know, you get so far into your head of, I don't look like I'm stage ready. I can't do this. I'm so tired. I'm so hungry. I have an hour on cardio. I don't want to sit on the Stairmaster for an hour. I mean, I could sit on the Stairmaster for an hour.
Yeah, we could.
But I could not. I didn't want to walk the Stairmaster.
That's so long.
It's so long. But TikTok helps. I'm not even going to lie. TikTok is the key to getting through it. Or if you have a good show that you're wanting to watch. I saw, what?
A good show.
Yeah, I saw this thing that was like, only save that show for your cardio.
For the Stairmaster.
Yeah.
I've never done the Stairmaster longer than 15 minutes. So that's not my space.
So it's...
Like, I'd rather ride my bike for an hour or get on the elliptical or whatever.
See, I can't do the elliptical. I can't do the elliptical for longer than a minute.
You don't like the elliptical?
No. There's something
so we're like the
about it
opposite.
Yeah.
I'm not a Stairmaster guy.
I can do the my favorite's the incline treadmill.
Just walking?
Yes. At a very fast pace.
It's amazing for you.
Yeah.
It's really amazing for you.
Stairmaster, we don't have we have a love-hate relationship.
You just get it done when you need to.
Yeah. If I have to do it,
you get it done when you need to.
I'll be on it. I may be sweating profusely and
it's good for you.
Borderline about to cry, but it's fine. That mixes in with the sweat, so you can't tell. One question down.
Well, I mean, I knew that it was just going to open up some good conversation. I just wrote some other stuff down just in case.
But how do you think?
But no, you didn't finish your statement about the Stairmaster. Or did you?
I did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, love-hate relationship.
You have a question for me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Let's switch this up a little bit.
Great, I love answering questions. Shoot, fire away.
How do you think I've changed over the last... You've known me for 4 years now?
Yeah.
From the girl that you met 4 years ago to the one that's sitting right here.
I've seen a lot of different iterations of you.
Yeah.
I think what's coming up now is the authentic version of yourself. You've gone through a lot. There were times when you were spending a lot of time at this house, where I was very worried about you, but was happy that you were here.
In a safe place.
Right. There were times in your previous relationship with Chandler that I saw you very happy. I think you guys overall, if you look at the whole idea of your relationship, was a pretty good one. You know, which is good, right? You went from really bad relationships, quite horrible. You got through them though, to one that is like, oh, this could potentially be what someone might treat me like, or what I want to be treated, or how I want to treat someone. Didn't work out, fine. It's what happens in life, and things don't always work out. But I think it was a nice example of what you might want, or how you want to be treated, or how you can also treat someone else. Because being in a relationship is hard. Yeah, it's hard. You have to communicate. You have to tell people how you're feeling. You have to ask for the things you want. You have to be willing to be wrong. You have to compromise.
All sounds so hard.
Right? You have to be open about things you like sexually, which can be also hard if you've gone through a lot of different things. Like, I can't tell them what I want. This is just, no. You know, that's very hard. Right. That's challenging for me to speak about because it feels like a little awkward. And all of these things come up. Yeah. Right? And when you find someone, you finally want to do that, or you're more willing to do that. Not you're just like, here's everything. Right. Right. But you're more willing to be like, you know, that's what I found. I talk about a lot on this podcast with my girlfriend, Rihanna. She's great. She is. Beautiful. The best thing about my life. The thing that my life is like, I know this is about you, but
no, you're great. I asked the question.
Like, I've been really lucky. I turned 30 soon. This episode comes out on June 7th. Episode 100 comes out on June 14th. I turned 30 on June 15th. Weird how that works out. And for 30 years, you know, I'm a very lucky guy. Yeah. Like, I don't know how I got so lucky, or with the parents I have and the life, my sister, right? Even though she's not around, like, still very lucky to have had her. And so my life, the point of that is that my life has been pretty great. Yeah. And I try to recognize that. But it was always missing something. And then Ree came into my life, and it feels like, oh, this is something that can complete my life. Not complete me, because I was already whole. Right. Right? But an addition to an already amazing thing. Yeah. And so it feels great. And so back to you.
I'm not going to cry or anything. That was so cute. Okay.
Thank you. I actually told her that yesterday. Really? So that's why it was on my mind. So I'm glad it came up. And so for you, we've talked a lot about stuff. We recently, the last conversation we had was about you trying to change jobs. And so now you have a new job.
I do.
That's a big step.
It was.
You're back in the gym consistently.
Yep.
You're in a new relationship. You seem to have some sort of glow in your eye. Right?
It's the highlighter that I put in the corner.
But you can tell, right? You can tell. Like, I've seen you, like, in a spot where I didn't know if I was going to see you again. That's very scary.
Yeah.
Especially with a close friend, especially with the work that I do.
Yeah.
Like, but I can't watch over people 24/7.
No.
But I've seen you overcome the darkest of dark stuff. And now we're here. And not to say it's sunshine and rainbows all the time, because it never will be. That's just impossible.
You need a little rain here and there.
Rain is good. You can't paint a beautiful picture without dark colors.
Right.
And so I see you as finally coming into the person that you want to be. And I think it was clearly stated before I hit record, was that you're just like, I'm just going to share. Like, it's fine now.
Yeah.
I don't have to seem to be perfect or have it all figured out or have this and that. I'm just this person.
Yeah.
And I've done this stuff, and this is how I share myself. And
this is me.
And so I think that's a cool transition, because this is actually our third recording of this pod.
Yes.
The first one is not available to watch, view, or listen. But that was it was a bit of an awkward episode.
Yeah. I don't remember too much of it, but that's okay, because I do tend to suppress things of certain areas that no longer serve me any purpose.
Sure.
But yes.
I think the episode we recorded here, episode 13, was good. But this one now seems to be flowing in a manner like when we're having coffee.
Yeah. I'm not nervous.
So I think that's a real indication of who you are potentially becoming. The best version of you, whatever that looks like for you.
Yeah. I'm excited.
So, was that a good answer?
That was a good answer. Thank you.
You're welcome. So, speaking of, you recently attended the first Are Love Fundraiser.
I did.
As you're wearing this beautiful shirt.
I am.
Available at youarelovelife.com, along with all of our other merchandise and a tab to donate. Thanks. But you came to the first event.
I did.
Which was on March 10th, 2022. So we're quite a ways past it. Just want to ask you initially, because you've kind of seen me go through all of these stages with You Are Loved, where it began, where it is now, all this in between. We had some You Are Loved stuff at your first bodybuilding show, which was awesome. You're on the website.
I still wear the robe to every show.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You came to the first event. What'd you think?
I loved it. I think that I'm very happy that this is where it's going and it's taking its next step. I can't wait for the next event. But just to have everybody there and there to support you, there to support your performers that were there, it was a truly really good experience. Like, there was no bad vibes there. It was all just us being us.
Yeah.
And us being able to hang out and have this, this thing in common, I guess. So I really enjoyed it. I'm excited for the next one.
What sparked this question is that during the event, you sent me a text.
Oh, yeah.
You sent me a text that says you want to be more involved.
Yes.
With You Are Loved. And I wish I could tell you how.
Right.
Because besides doing what you already do, right? Talking about it, being about it, wearing the merchandise, coming on this podcast, sharing your story, living your life in an authentic manner, saying that you have these mental health conditions but are still thriving, in spite of it all, right?
Yeah.
But what did you have in mind, if anything? What did you mean by that? Like, did it inspire you at the event?
It did. I think just everybody that came together for the event, helped put it on. It was just a really good, team feeling. And I want, to kind of help bring in the next one, find people that you may need. Or if the next one's sharing stories.
Yeah.
Then I will get up there and awkwardly share mine, I guess.
Well, beautiful. Then that's how you can be involved.
Yeah.
So breaking news here.
Oh.
I am trying to, I can't say with full confidence yet, to have an event in September.
Okay.
Because September is Suicide Prevention Month. Mm-hmm. And September 3rd will be the 40-year anniversary of my sister's passing. Mm-hmm. So I think it's what's the word? Not interesting. I was going to say funny, but we always say funny, and that's not what I mean whatsoever.
Yeah.
Interesting. It's interesting and complicated, right? Mm-hmm. For both months, my sister's birthday is May 1st, and May is Mental Health Awareness Month.
Right.
She passed away in September, and September is Suicide Prevention Month. Yeah. Like, it's wild how that, like, that's a thing. So in both months where it's, like, really hard for me to be... it's just really hard because I think about her. I mean, I think about her literally every night before I go to bed. But those 2 months are like a lot. Right. And then I'm also doing a lot of work on top of it because those months are very usually busy for me. Mm-hmm. And so, I don't know, there was no point to that. I just wanted to share it. Yeah. And so September is when I aim to run another event. Okay. I want to do one outside. Oh, yes. Like at a park. Because I think Dallas in September is very nice. Yeah. The weather's comfortable to be outside. It's not too hot. No. We can have a food truck. And I want it to have a different feel than the last one. I want to do more storytelling. Okay. Tickets, obviously, to get into the event. Or if we find a space to just have an open area where I just like bring a speaker, invite all my friends, and we're just out in the park and people just come and as they're passing by, they come through and there's a donation table. Oh, that. And would have like one of my friends cooks and he would just be out there serving food and you could leave tips for him and just kind of make it an open event. So I'm kind of deciding between those two ideas, but I want the bulk of the event to be, there'll be a couple performances. I want Erin to perform again. Yeah. Because she's incredible and she like brings this sense of just a sense of authenticity, a sense of realness, sense of love.
That's been her since high school.
And she just like...
middle school.
And I love Dante. The two comedians were amazing. But I think her vibe fits that. Yeah. She would perform a longer set. Mm-hmm. And then in the midst of all of that would be a lot of storytelling.
I like that.
Because it is Suicide Prevention Month. And so we tell people overcoming their challenges and their pain, how they continue to fight and to live and to thrive. Very similar to what the You Are Loved, mental health stories are on YouTube, but like in person, in real life, with like random people walking by.
Like you actually get to see them.
And you see them and you see their eyes, and you see their heart and it's in full display. And I mean, it's very hard to do that in front of people. Yeah. As we saw with like Red Chambers at my event. But I think if someone's up there with them, potentially setting the example, like I'll share, obviously, I always share. And then a couple other people kind of follow suit, and then we have some performances, maybe have a Q&A discussion about mental health, what some tools, some resources you can do if you're feeling this way, where can you go? Yeah. And then more stories. So that's my idea for the event in September.
I got a food truck for you if you need one.
Do you?
Yeah.
You know people?
I know some people.
Really?
I do, yeah.
Okay, so now we just need a space.
They have really good food. Yep, no. I don't know if depending on really where everybody's located and if they want to travel, you could potentially do it where the food truck is, but I do think the food truck can come to you as well.
You hungry?
A little bit, yeah. I don't know what's going on.
Because we just ran me and Milan, Milan. Mm-hmm. She was at the event too. She's amazing. We just did an event together at UT Arlington where she works. Okay. And there's an outside, they have a beautiful outside space there with a stage. Mm-hmm. But the only problem that I see is that the reason why I don't think as many people came to Denton is because it's far away. Mm-hmm. And most of our people are in like the Dallas, Plano area. Yeah. And so putting another event in Arlington is just as far away. So, but in September, students will be in session, so we might get some walkthroughs. So I'm kind of debating on that, but I want to do it like the tail end of September to kind of wrap up Suicide Prevention Month, because I'm doing some events with Dallas Hope Charities at the beginning of the month. Okay. And then there'll be a lot of stuff on social media and all this stuff throughout the month, and then to kind of wrap it up for the DFW area.
That's good.
Yeah, so
I'm excited.
So yeah, if you anything that you find, I don't know if we're allowed to just go in a park. I think you need a permit for that. I'm not worried about selling alcohol because I don't think that's important at all. Just need to be able to sell food and put a stage.
Okay. I'll keep my eyes and ears open.
So any people who listen or watch this live in the DFW area, first of all, want to volunteer to help would be amazing, or have any ideas on locations, that would be awesome as well.
Let us know.
As basically what you just saw me do for the last 5 minutes was workshop the event, because I hadn't really thought about it too much. And so I wanted to think through it, and I like doing that on this podcast, like basically talking it out.
Sometimes you just need it.
I do. I sit here by myself all the time, and I look in the camera, and I just work through stuff.
So you get an expert opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do get, oh, thank you. That's so nice. Yeah, I do get an expert opinion, but I just like to talk through it. And like, sometimes I'll look back at these episodes and be like, I don't think that's what
that's not it.
That's not what I want, or that's not what I meant to say, or that's not what I believe to be true now.
Yeah.
But I like it because then it's like, it's out there, and I said it, and when I said it, I meant it. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it's cool because it's like a thought exercise.
It's good to see you then. Yeah. Now know who you are now.
Right.
Like after this, I'm gonna go watch episode 13.
Are you?
Just watch us. Yeah, because I don't know even remember that person. Like I do, but I don't, all at the same time.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So it's exciting. I'll even see like old pictures of me, and I'm like, who's that?
Are you back on social media now?
I am.
Why'd you take a break?
I only took a break from Instagram because that seems to be the sole social media platform that I have an issue with mentally. But it got to the point where I think I was like a couple months out of prep and just started comparing myself. This go around in prep, I did have some issues with my food. Like I wouldn't eat because I was too scared that I was going to turn into who I was last off season. But I can't really compare myself to last off season because a week after my show, I had surgery on my ankle, laid in bed for 2 weeks because I couldn't get out.
Right. Long overdue surgery.
Yeah. A whole year.
Yeah, a long overdue surgery. And now you have this beautiful scar.
Yeah, now I got this scar because...
And your Hey Dudes.
Yeah, I need to actually wash them. But Hey Dudes are the way to go. And Crocs. But... Lost my train of thought. But yeah. Oh yeah, I'm on social media. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm on Instagram again.
That's your main use platform. I mean, you don't really use Facebook or Twitter that much.
No, I don't use Twitter at all.
You've always been about Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram. Facebook is, for my family. I'll post, life updates here and there. But Instagram's, where it's... But I feel like that's everybody's main source of, like their social media, growing their business and stuff like that is Instagram. Like that's...
I'm a big Twitter guy.
Are you?
Well, because I like to talk words.
Yeah.
And I like to type them out. And sometimes I don't want to record a video. Mm-hmm. I do record a lot of videos. If I have here, and I'll get back to what I was going to say in a second, because it might be important. But I wanted to ask you, because this is about you. So that's why you took a break from Instagram. Mm-hmm. And then why did you get back on, and how is your relationship with it now?
So it took me 3-ish months to get back on. Every time I thought I was ready, a sense of panic would be inside of me, and I'm like, okay, that's my sign that I can't. What did I do? I think I did something one day, and I was like, okay, I can do it. I can get back on. I didn't have the sense of anxiety anymore. And as soon as I got back on, I wasn't even on how I usually would be. Before I got off, it got to the point where I would open Instagram, compare myself to all these bodybuilders that have been doing it for years, close out Instagram, immediately get right back on it. Like the app wasn't even closed out for a second, and I was right back on it. And now I'm just like, I'll open Instagram, click through a few stories, get off, enjoy the rest of my day.
Beautiful.
It's been great.
How did you create that change? Because that's pretty substantial.
So I think that since I didn't delete all of my other social media platforms, I was able to kind of learn how to know when I need to get off instead of sitting there scrolling through TikTok, sitting there scrolling through Facebook. I gave myself a limit, and then I was done. And then I guess you don't know because you're not an iPhone user. But whatever. But on iPhones, they give you like, your screen time has been down or your screen time is up. My goal every time I would get that is to have a screen time that went down and to not be on my phone and live in the moment. That's cheesy, but I like it.
It's not cheesy. And it's perfect and it's right. On Android, you have you can basically set timers for your apps.
Oh, that's nifty.
So I have timers for all of my social media apps, and when it's done, it's done. And I said,
done.
Yeah, I set a screen time for my screen as well. I don't count if it's like if I'm watching a podcast or if I have Google Maps open when I'm driving. It doesn't count as screen time, and it takes that into account on my phone, and so it's like actual screen time.
Are you just trying to make Android sound cooler than iPhones?
No, that's just what the feature is. But yes, I am. And so some days I fail. Some days I'm like, it's 9:00 in the morning and I've already gone through my Instagram.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to find some inspiration for a newsletter. I was trying to find something. And it's like, oh, it's 9 a.m. I literally can't look at Instagram anymore. I haven't posted yet. I need to post. I don't need. That's the wrong word. I want to post this content.
Right.
So then I'll get on, I'll post, and I'll shut it back down.
Yeah.
That's normally what I'm trying to do is post and ghost.
Yeah.
And then have a distinct set of time where I go to social media to reply to comments, DMs, people, to engage with people that care about my content and follow it. Because I think that's important.
Yeah.
Because those are real people saying that they appreciated it, and I appreciate them for appreciating it.
Right. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think last night was probably the longest I stayed on Facebook. I got trapped into every social media platform, I think other than Snapchat, has TikToks or Reels or whatever.
They're all just short videos now.
Yeah, so I got stuck on Facebook because every single one was the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial. And I was just trying to get all the information possible. And I was like, this is getting really interesting. Oh, it's 2:00 in the morning. I should probably go to bed.
Yeah, you got a podcast in the morning.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Every platform. That's basically what people are looking for now. TikTok changed the game, but you can post almost up to 90 seconds of video now.
Yeah.
With the reels in the long form, so it's kind of a pretty long format.
Sounds very long, unless it's like something super.
I mean, it started off at under 15 seconds, and now they've built the feature. And on TikTok, you can post videos that are 10 minutes long.
That's so long.
But
I think I've come across a couple of those, and I'm like, all right, we're not to the point yet. And then I'll scroll.
Right, because people want the 15 or second less. Like, I still think that 6 seconds or less do the best. Yeah. But I have a lot to say. Yeah. I do.
But see,
I want to say it.
Some people do say it in a very interesting, like, their first words are the attention grabber. Right. You know, kind of what they teach you in English and when you write your papers is you have to have that attention grabber. But then some of the videos that I come across, I'm like, I don't even know what are they even talking about? Because their first thing wasn't even goes along with the rest of the story. I'm like, okay, that was scroll.
Yeah. But yeah, mostly what I post is clips for my podcast. Because like how I've done my content now is like everything that I want to say, I'm recording on a podcast. Right. I'm not posting videos out of reaction. I'm not posting videos in anything. If I have a tweet, great. I like to write it out and post it. But most of my tweets are already in my drafts and I just put them out when I want to.
You're ready. You're like, that's a good time.
Because I don't like to do social media reactionary.
Yeah.
Because a lot of things happen. A lot of bad things, a lot of hard things, a lot of things that I potentially could comment on, but I don't want to do it in a state where I'm like highly aroused. I want to do it in like this like calm demeanor where I can think about all sides, try to understand everything that's happening if I can to the best of my ability, and then formulate thoughts that are like competent and coherent. And so I'll write that on Twitter, but mostly I'll come on the pod, do a full episode, talk about certain different subjects, and then clip them out and post them at different. That's how I'm doing my stuff now, because it gives me the ability to post a lot of different things. Sometimes I'll just like have a thought, like a random thought, like, oh, here's like 3 things that someone should do today, and I'll just like sit down on my table and I'll record it and I'll put it up.
Yeah.
And that's freeing now, because normally I wouldn't be able to do that when I was like pretending to be a movie star. Like everything has to be like this, like, oh dude, you can't do this, your hair looks weird. Like there's like a thing in the background that like a movie star wouldn't have in his background. Like, no, this is my house, this is where I live. Hey, what's up? You should probably do this today. Like it's like very freeing.
It is.
And so that idea with social media now for me is like awesome. Like I don't have to have filters or whatever. Like this is it. I just want to say these words. And so that's why my relationship with social media is quite good.
That's good.
And I don't get into arguments.
I don't do
ever.
That.
Not one time.
No.
Maybe throughout the history of my social media I have, but not anymore. If someone wants to have a conversation, great. Dude, here's my phone number. Literally, I'll post it on it, or here's my DM. Let's talk.
I try to refrain from the confrontation side of things, or any argument like that anybody could have. I'm like, all right, you have your opinion, I have mine. We can still live in the same world.
Exactly.
I mean, we actually have to live.
We are living in the same world. We live in the same planet. Yes.
And a lot of the stuff, I'm just like, it's seeing it from other people's perspective.
Right.
Which, is everyday life, friendships, relationships, people, strangers. You just got to see it from their eyes, and if you can't, you still have your opinion, and they still have theirs.
Right. You seek to understand. Mm-hmm. You remove the notion of trying to be critical or judgmental. Mm-hmm. You seek to understand. You try to know that they're just a person doing the best they can.
Right.
And like every single person on this planet, they have something going on in their life that no one knows about. Mm-hmm. And so if we can lead with kindness and understanding, social media would be a better place. And so would, so would the world, really. So, yeah, that's what I believe. But anyways, you have anything else to say on that subject?
No. I saw you scribbled and you wrote another note.
Well, because when I write the description of what we talked about, I don't want to forget, so I wrote just IG.
Oh, okay.
Also, I know that when I put it in the show notes, I can be like, oh, we talked about Instagram. Oh, and so if I do a clip or whatever, I know that that I can clip this because I like that part of the conversation to post on Instagram.
Fancy.
Because I have like some notes, right? It's so funny because I know that I've said this in multiple podcasts, but I think it's very hilarious. I know that I'm going to ask the question, how are you?
Yeah.
I know that's my first question.
Right.
Every single time. Even if it's by myself, I ask myself that question. And I still write it down.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's good.
Well, that's a good question.
That's a good question. Every time I write it, I'm like, yeah, we're crushing it.
That's it.
And because I know in my mind, because all of my guests are amazing.
Yeah.
That's going to lead to some other stuff. And then I have just a few other things written down. Like I wrote You Are Loved event, just to make sure I got there. And then I wrote fitness, mental health. We talked about that. Uh-huh. Injury. We didn't talk about that yet.
Yeah. Which one?
Yeah, exactly.
Which one?
So, last time I talked to you, you said I saw some pictures. Because I don't get on Facebook a lot. You post a lot on Facebook.
Yeah.
So what happened? You had a motorcycle accident? What's going on here?
Okay, so I had a dirt bike accident.
Dirt bike.
Yeah. So it's funny now. I mean, at the time it was funny. I laid there laughing. But I decided to try to go up this hill. And to me, it looked like a mountain. To other people, and me when I'm standing on the side, it's just like a little hill, probably as tall as this.
Okay.
But I wasn't giving it enough throttle going up it. And when I did give throttle, my arms went back, and on the dirt bike, your wrist is like the throttle.
Right.
So when you go back, my wrist went back and whiskey throttled it. So I got up the hill, which was my goal. I went off the path between two trees, and the bike went this way and hung upside down in a tree, and I landed between the two trees.
Holy shit, dude.
Yeah.
Wow. Are you okay?
No.
That's like a lot.
No. So I laid there, and everybody came. I was with my boyfriend and his friend, his brother, and one of their girlfriends. And so I'm laying there, and they all come over, and they're like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm good." And I'm laughing at this point because I knew that
like in shock. You're laughing.
I think so.
Yeah.
But I also knew that this was going to happen. And so I'm like sitting there laughing, and they're like, "All right, well, let's get you up." And I was like, "Just give me a minute." And I mean, you can even ask Katie. This is the exact same thing that I told her when I hurt my ankle.
Katie.
Yeah, I sat in the hole when I hurt my ankle, and I was like, "I just need a moment. Just let me breathe it through, and then I'll get up." So I'm still laughing, and they're helping me up. Well, as soon as I got up, I am now crying because I now feel the pain in my shoulder. And I was like, I don't know if it's out. I don't know what happened. I couldn't breathe. Like, all of this had basically been shoved. Because when I remember when I got thrown off, my body turned, and I turned and landed straight on the shoulder. So everything got pushed and whatnot. So we ended up having to cut my brand new shirt off that I got just so we could see if something was poking out. Everything was fine, thank goodness. But I couldn't walk. Like, every bump hurt when we got into the truck. I had to like lay down. It was so bad. Come to find out, I tore a couple of ligaments or tendons, because that's what I'm good at. No broken bones, but now I'm better.
Whoa, man.
Yeah.
What was the recovery time like?
I was in a sling for 3 or 4 weeks. And that was the most annoying thing. Like, I'd rather walk around in a boot.
Really?
Yeah. Because the sling didn't really help. Like, it helped, yes, keep my arm, like, non-mobile. But my issue was my shoulder. So this still moved in everything that I did. So I still felt it. And every bump, everything, it was still hurting. Yeah. So, I couldn't raise my arm more than this. I couldn't even like put my hands up. Couldn't like wash my hair or anything. Like, it was bad. But when I went to my orthopedic, he said that shoulders are like the worst to heal.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, okay, well, can we like transfer the pain to my ankle? Because I can handle ankle pain. I can walk around and rock a boot for like ever.
For years.
Yeah, literally. But the shoulder, that was rough. And even my boyfriend, he's popped his shoulder out numerous times. And he was like, the last time that he did it, he's like, I had to go to physical therapy. I was borderline surgery because it was so bad. But I know the pain that you're feeling, and you're going to be okay. You're just going to be in a lot of pain for a while. Right. But he was really great, took care of me, did a lot for me in that time, and, you know, kind of helped me in my healing. He's like, you just have to move it. And would show me like things that his physical therapist would do. I'm like, okay. I got like a tear coming out. It's like, that hurts. But yeah. No,
and what do you feel like now? You're fully ready to go?
Yes and no. So I can't sleep on the side still because every time I do, the ligaments start hurting and tendons start hurting again. Yeah. Just because everything's shoved up. I have to do way lighter weight than before. I'm actually only on shoulder days. I'm only doing band work.
Are you talking about when you go overhead to the side, when you bench, all of that?
All of it.
So what The only thing that probably feels normal is like rows. Mm-hmm. They feel fine.
So, yeah, because when I originally did it, I could lift my arms up this and I could pull them back. I couldn't go this way. I couldn't go up. I couldn't even put my arm backwards.
Wow. When do you expect to have it fully healed?
I'm hoping soon. I go to Dr. Rocket, and he's been helping me.
At the Hidden Gym?
At the Hidden Gym, yes. And he's been helping me with getting blood flow, because that's the only way that they'll heal without surgery. Right. So just getting the blood flow to there, and that's really all I can do, and just like minimal movements.
Hidden Gym. We still need to have a workout at the Hidden Gym.
We do.
You can put me through a workout.
I will.
Anything else? Anything else that's new that you want to update the listeners and viewers of Jaxon Talks Everybody on? Potentially the world?
Potentially the world. No. I think we kind of covered everything.
Okay, then I have one final question for you.
Okay.
It's a very important question.
Oh, boy.
I stole this question. It's not an original question. I stole this question from one of my favorite podcasters named Tim Ferriss.
Okay.
He's an amazing podcast. He's kind of the person who made podcasting popular. Amazing. Okay. And he asked this question to all of his guests at the end of the episodes. Okay. And I think it's a great question.
I'm scared now.
No, it's nothing to be scared of. Think about a billboard, right? A billboard in a heavily populated area. And you had the chance to put anything you wanted on that billboard, and millions of people would see it every time they drove by or looked at it. What would you, Alex, put on that billboard? It's a great question.
It is a very good question, because there's like several things.
What first things pop into your mind?
That everything's going to be okay.
That's great.
That even in your darkest times, everything will be okay. Yeah.
Beautiful.
You're going to make it.
Everything is going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. It will be.
It will be.
I believe that. What a beautiful way to wrap it up. To put a little bow on top of this conversation. It's good to see you.
Good to see you, Joe.
Thanks for coming over.
Of course, always.
Now, the next time we hang out, I don't know if I can force you to come over by doing another podcast. We can surely record, but maybe we'll just hang out.
Yes. We still need to do like dinners, coffee. We have all this stuff planned.
We need to go to the Hidden Gym. I literally haven't gone.
No, I've gone, but I've never actually worked out there.
Really?
Yeah.
There's a guy that I do jiu-jitsu with. His name is Diego.
Okay.
He's a trainer at Hidden Gym.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So every time I see him, I think about it.
Yeah. And we can get Katie out there too.
Yo, she's a beast though.
She is. Yeah. She's got quads for days.
You guys are gonna just outdo me, so I'm ready for it.
Are we though?
I don't know. Maybe.
Probably not.
I don't know. Anyways, I just want to work out with you guys at the Hidden Gym, so let's get after it, and then we can get some coffee afterwards. Okay. And then I also want to, I do want to have Katie on this podcast so she can talk about her whole journey.
Oh, you should.
How she got into this incredible shape. She takes care of herself, full stop now. Proud. She's amazing. I've obviously always liked her. Yeah. She's a really great person. Me too. Well, clearly, she's your best friend. But great. So your billboard. Mm-hmm. Everything's going to be okay. Everything is going to be okay.
It is.
Beautiful. Well, thank you for listening. This is episode 99 of Jaxon Talks Everybody. Episode 100 comes out on June 14th. June 15th is my 30th birthday. So we're going to celebrate with the 100th episode of Jaxon Talks Everybody. Mm-hmm. This is an amazing episode with Alex. You can check out our previous episode, which is episode 13. Every episode of Jaxon Talks Everybody is available at jaxontalkseverybody.com or YouTube, Apple, Spotify. And if you go to any of those sites, leave us a review, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Share with a friend. Mm-hmm. Thank you for coming back every week. I can't believe we're almost at 100 episodes. Imagine what we'll get to when we get to 200 or 1,000. It's going to be amazing. Ooh, we're going to do this podcast. Yeah.
I want to do 1,000.
I want to do something, yeah. If we get to 1,000, obviously this podcast is going to be booming. We're going to have every guest that's ever been on, and we're going to do this massive summit. of Jaxon Talks Everybody, because I want to do this podcast forever because it means a lot to me, and so do these conversations. So thank you, wherever, whenever you're watching or listening to this. I wish you lots and lots of love, and take good care of yourselves, and I'll see you guys next time.